What would you do if you suddenly found it hard to take care of yourself? Would you rush into a nursing home, or would you explore other options? Aging is an inevitable part of life, but how we approach it can differ greatly from person to person. Many people view nursing homes as the only solution when they begin to lose their independence. However, this is not always the best or only choice available. In today's video, we'll dive deep into 6 inspiring stories of older individuals who chose different paths and discovered new ways to live life on their own terms. From adventurous retirees exploring the world to tech-savvy grandmothers embracing modern technology, each story highlights that with a little creativity and support, you can maintain your independence, purpose, and joy at any age. So, why might moving into a nursing home not be your first option? What other exciting possibilities could lie ahead? Stick around as we uncover these life lessons that will inspire you to rethink aging and embrace the opportunities that come with it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Bloom and Nourish. Before we dive in, I would appreciate it if you could like this video. Your support helps me share valuable lessons about aging. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. If you enjoy this video, please comment with a 1, and if not, comment with a 0, so I can improve my content for you. Now, let's get started. Story 1. The Independent Grandpa. Let me introduce you to Grandpa Joe, a spirited 85-year-old with a heart full of energy and a strong desire for independence. For as long as his family can remember, Joe has been an active man. He rises with the sun for his daily morning walks, tends to his garden, and enjoys quiet afternoons with a good book. However, as time passed, Joe's family began to worry about his health. They suggested he move into a nursing home where he would have round-the-clock care. But Grandpa Joe had other plans. He understood his limitations, but was not ready to give up the life he cherished. He loved his morning walks around the neighborhood, chatting with familiar faces at the local coffee shop, and enjoying the comfort of his own home. Despite his family's concerns, Joe insisted he wanted to stay right where he was. With some extra help, like occasional visits from a home care worker or family checking in, Joe continued to live life on his terms. His story teaches us a powerful lesson. Independence is a force that should never be underestimated at any age. Aging may bring challenges, but it doesn't mean you have to surrender your sense of self or autonomy. Sometimes all it takes is a little support from family and friends to help you stay in the place that makes you feel most alive. Grandpa Joe may have needed some extra assistance, but he proved that with the right kind of help, independence is still within reach. This serves as a reminder that you don't have to rush into a nursing home just because of your age. There are always other options if you're willing to get creative and stay true to your own needs. Story 2. The Surprising Move of a Retired Teacher. Next up is Mrs. Hargrove, a retired teacher in her 70s who spent decades shaping young minds in her classroom. When it was time for her to think about her future, she didn't want to follow the path many of her peers took by moving into nursing homes. Instead, Mrs. Hargrove made a bold decision. She moved to a vibrant community of retirees, a place that was unlike anything she had imagined before. At first, her family was concerned. They thought she was making a mistake by leaving the comfort of her old neighborhood for something completely new. But fast forward a few months, and Mrs. Hargrove's choice turned out to be one of the best decisions she ever made. Not only did she find a group of like-minded people who shared her interests, but she also quickly became an active member of her new community. She started teaching knitting classes, something she had always loved but never had time for while working full-time. The sense of purpose she gained from teaching her fellow residents brought fresh energy into her life. Mrs. Hargrove was no longer just surviving, she was thriving. Her story teaches us an important lesson. Finding new communities can inject new energy and purpose into our lives as we age. We may face the temptation to retreat into solitude, but Mrs. Hargrove shows us that surrounding ourselves with people who understand our needs and share our passions can help us continue to grow. Instead of isolating yourself or settling into a nursing home, seek out places where you can connect, contribute, and build new relationships. It's never too late to find a community that brings joy and meaning into your life. Mrs. Hargrove found hers and now serves as living proof that the best years of your life could still be ahead. Story 3. The Adventurer in His 90s. Now let me tell you about Mr. Thompson, an adventurous 92-year-old who refuses to slow down. While most people his age might prefer a quiet life at home, Mr. Thompson decided that wasn't for him. Instead, he chose to live his golden years as an adventurer, traveling the world with his daughter. Whether wandering through Paris, hiking in Italy's countryside, or exploring ancient ruins in Greece, Mr. Thompson embraced every opportunity to see the world and experience new things. What's even more inspiring is that he didn't opt for luxurious cruises or guided tours. Instead, he chose authentic travel experiences by staying in small apartments and immersing himself in local cultures. These trips weren't just items on a bucket list. They were real-life adventures he had always dreamed of, but never had time for when he was younger. Now, at 92 years old, he's making those dreams come true, proving that age is no barrier to living fully. Mr. Thompson's story reinforces an essential lesson. Age is just a number. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to give up on adventure or new experiences. In fact, many find that their later years offer more freedom and flexibility to explore the world in ways they never could before. So whether you're 92 or 32 years old, there's always room for more adventures if you're willing to take that first step. Story 4. The Tech-Savvy Grandma. Let me introduce you to Grandma Ruth, an inspiring woman in her 80s who refused to let age dictate her independence. While she could no longer care for herself fully, Grandma Ruth had no intention of moving into a nursing home. Instead, she embraced technology in ways many people her age might find intimidating. Determined to stay in her home while adapting to her changing needs, Grandma Ruth learned how to use smartphones and tablets with help from her grandchildren. She set up smart home devices that allowed her to control lights and locks with her voice and easily call family members or doctors at the touch of a button when she needed assistance. But perhaps the most significant impact technology had on Grandma Ruth's life was how it helped her stay connected with loved ones. She used video calls not only for chatting with family, but also for virtually participating in family game nights from her living room. Grandma Ruth's story teaches us an important lesson. Technology can be incredibly empowering. Instead of letting age limit her independence, she used available tools to maintain control over her life while keeping relationships strong. So don't be afraid to embrace technology. It could be key to living on your own terms at any age. Story 5. The Gardener Who Never Stopped Growing. Now let's talk about Mr. Clark, a passionate gardener who faced challenges at 79 many people don't want to accept. His body just wasn't able to keep up with the demands of his once sprawling garden filled with flowers and vegetables, the pride of his life. As time went on and physical labor became too much for him, Mr. Clark's family worried he might have to give up gardening altogether due to declining health, but Mr. Clark had other plans. Instead of abandoning what he loved most about gardening altogether, he chose instead to downsize. He transformed his large garden into a smaller yet beautiful space filled with plants easier for him to care for, plants that fit better within his current abilities without sacrificing beauty or joy. With fewer plants needing attention now than before, he found peace in simplicity while still enjoying gardening. Mr. Clark's story reminds us that simplicity can be just as fulfilling. Aging doesn't mean giving up what we love. It's about adapting our passions so we can continue enjoying them throughout our lives without overexerting ourselves. By embracing this simpler version of gardening, Mr. Clark discovered sometimes less really is more, And aging doesn't mean giving up. It simply means adapting. Story 6. The Family Legacy. Lastly, let me share Mildred's story, a remarkable 84-year-old woman who made an unexpected choice. She decided not only against moving into a nursing home, but also chose instead to stay right where she'd lived for over 50 years. The very place where memories were made, raising children, hosting family gatherings, building generations worth sharing. Despite suggestions from children about moving away due solely to aging challenges, Mildred couldn't bear leaving behind all those familiar comforts surrounding everything meaningful within those walls, filled memories shaped throughout decades, spent nurturing love, laughter, friendship togetherness forged through time spent together. Instead, finding ways making it work, Mildred arranged regular check-ins, ensuring support without having leave beloved home. Whether weekly visits from daughter-grandchildren stopping by after school, Mildred maintained connections meant so much while preserving legacy built over years. Her story teaches us an important lesson. Home is where heart truly lies. Sometimes best place during later years isn't somewhere new, unfamiliar, but right where life unfolded, surrounded by memories, comforts make feel safe, loved. Aging doesn't always mean needing leave place where life story unfolded. For Mildred, staying home wasn't merely decision. It was way preserved family legacy, maintained sense belonging always existed there. It's beautiful reminder, right place later years might just be place been home all along. As we've seen through these 6 incredible stories, aging doesn't mean surrendering joy, independence, purpose. Whether adapting lifestyle, embracing new technology, staying connected loved ones, countless ways exist. Live life on your own terms, regardless age. Thank you so much for watching. I would love hearing thoughts. Can relate any of these stories? Or do have experiences share? Please drop comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content. Until next time, take care, keep living best life.